Yeah.
What we got here then?
We have about a 1930 Ford BB tanker, as we can see. Now, we don't get many tankers. One or two tankers have survived very, very nicely. I wonder why that is. Maybe because they're generally always parked inside and used sparingly, perhaps, I don't know. They're very popular on the show field, but they're not so popular amongst the collectors, in as much as that there's nothing much you can do with a tanker. Obviously you can't really work it anymore, rules and regulations and such like, so not that you want to, but a lot of the guys with the classic commercials, you know, either like to sleep in them, they turn them into living inside or part of them and that sort of thing, and it just, maybe that's got something to do with it. It just struck me that ambulances, fire engines and fuel tankers just don't quite hit the spot. It's a bit of a shame, because I think this is beautiful, this thing. I think it is really, really nice. I like it ever so much. It's got so much character. I mean, we talk about commercials having a working life. If this commercial's not had a working life, then you might as well give up, right? Because, I mean, look at it. It is a working tanker. I mean, really, to be perfectly truthful, if push come to shove, you could probably start using it tomorrow. It's just great. I mean, everything's dead right about it. Look. Also, you've got to bear in mind that the body is very demountable, as you can see. So if somebody wanted to do something else with it, or put an alternative body on, you know, lift one off, put another body on, swap the bodies around, in other words, then it does lend itself to that quite nicely. I mean, all the discharge is all gravity, so there's no pumping, nothing on that sort of line. So basically, it's connect your hose on under your tap, and boom, it runs out. That's the end of that. So very simple to sort of run and what have you. In their day, obviously wartime would have come into its own, would have been used an awful lot on war fuel, I would imagine, no doubt about that. But the actual vehicle itself, I'm really impressed with. It's really nice. I like it. It's in lovely condition. Clearly a very much older restoration. I wouldn't like to say, but probably 20 or 30 years older restoration. But obviously done well in its day, because it's kept nice. And there's an argument for not doing anything with it. You know, there's one or two paint imperfections, there's going to be, but there are not much. It's been kept inside, been kept well, and I personally don't think there's anything really much wants doing with this. I think he wants leaving just as it is. On there would have been, I think you'll find on there would have been a dipstick, or a couple of dipsticks on there. Anyway, they're not there now, are they? But whether they're about somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But the vehicle itself is nice. Picked it up ourselves, genuine collector, had it good number of years, never done much with it, stood in the back of the shed as usual. Starts lovely, runs nice, sweet engine, drove it round here. I haven't been out on the road in it. I will do, actually. I'd quite like to give it a spin out. It starts up beautiful, just a typical Ford. I mean, they start so easy. They're really simple to run. I mean, a BB is just like a big AA. It's as simple as that. She's about a 1930s, as I say, 31, 32, something on that sort of line. Just sign written up nicely. Just looks the piece.
It does, yeah.
You know, it would grace any commercial man's collection, you know, for not a great deal of money. And it's the one vehicle, I think. Maybe paint the wings, perhaps tidy them up a bit. I'm not too sure you do too much with the cab, but it's one of them vehicles. I think if it was in a collector's shed, most people that went in that shed would make a bit of a beeline for it, because it's just got that thing about it. It's just got that working presentation about it that is so important, I think, with commercials. So many of them are dressed up and way better cosmetically than they came out the factory. And if you're not careful, you can take all its working life out of the vehicle, if you like. You know, but this really is just about, as it looks now, is just about as it would have worked in the 30s, probably right up through the war, exactly as it looks now. And I think that's absolutely lovely.
It is.
The provenance and the appearance of the provenance is just so important. Like I say, one or two bits and pieces. Look, she's been knocked to one or two odds and sods, but I mean, nothing really. So paint the wings in, give it a good clean up, but don't go overboard. Leave it as it is and enjoy it.
Definitely.
All right.